I'm Laura Sims. I'm the creator of Your Career Homecoming. I am here with my amazing client, Rachel, who was such a dream to work with. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Laura.
I
So
am,
wonderful being here with you.
yeah, I'm so excited you're here. You went through Your Career Homecoming, I think a full 5 years ago at this
Mu-
point.
it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
And I thought it'd be nice to share a story from someone who's been out in the world for a while. So,
Yeah.
if you can go back in the mental Rolodex to so we can
No!
so we can give some folks some context before,
Oh,
like at the time of finding Your Career Homecoming. What was going on in your life, in your family, in the stage of your career? Can you bring us back to that moment a little bit?
oh my goodness. It's been actually, I think it's probably been more than 5 years, it feels like. It's been quite a few years. So at the time when, I don't even know how to say you were sent to me. You landed in my lap. I found you. Like it was just, I was on a hero's journey, dark night at the soul, the whole 9 yards. And it was just a fog. Didn't know what my next move was going to be. I was coming out of a layoff situation and I was still in that process of finding myself and one of those like going through all the emotions of never again, right? Like, this is it. This was like the last kick in the pants the universe is going to give me. And should I be doing this, I'm going to do it with support and with someone who has the experience, the clarity, the knowledge to be able to guide me. I was, flat out on my back, so to speak. And so that's where, enter stage left. Laura comes in and always, I tell you all the time, I'm so super grateful for you. So I was in that spot where I was like, okay, I'm open, fresh out of ideas, and I know that there's more, and I know that my life can be so much better and easier and in alignment. And so, yeah, that's where I was.
It is so hard for me to even imagine you, like that version of you. It just seems so far away. But in preparation for this conversation, I actually went through and found my notes from our very first conversation. And you're saying all those kinds of things, but can I read back to you a little bit of what
Please do.
here's what you said. You said, how does who I am translate into a job?
Yeah.
How can I not dread my job? Because I've tried sending out resumes and nothing's coming back. I've worked with a career coach twice to do my resume, to do informational interviews. I feel like I'm on a merry-go-round. I'm missing something, and I'm not even sure what I'm looking for.
Oh, Rachel.
Oh, Rachel, I know. I know.
Oh, give her a hug.
Give her-
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're able to connect.
Yes.
And I mean, without having to get into too much detail, just what do you think about this worked when all these other things hadn't?
A roadmap, a clear, concise, simple, because I was full, simple roadmap with just someone who, I mean, you were so gentle and so on point, and the steps were like very clear, and the modules, just everything about it was literally like a compass. And all I got to do was say yes to myself. So we began working together. And then all that was required of me was just a willingness to go module by module and showing up for myself. I wasn't required to have any of the answers. I wasn't, there was, it felt like I felt as if there was no pressure on me to do or be or anything other than just my full authentic self and get radically honest with myself. That was the piece that I truly believe made the difference when I was willing to actually answer like those introspective questions and then be willing to go out and do the practical side of it. No brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think has been the biggest shifts you've experienced personally, career wise, since doing this work?
The biggest would be that I don't require a title to be successful. Like the title does not define me, because I think at the beginning when it's like, well, what are you going to do with your life? What do you go, what's your, homecoming career? I was stuck in that 9 to 5 corporate rigmarole of you are your title. And so for me, because then I'm going through this, what felt like a personal crisis where I'd been laid off, I didn't know what I was going to do. I'd kind of tried all these things, and it's like, well, who am I? And, that was attached to my worth. In the work with, your career homecoming, it was like, who am I being? How does that, how do I, like, what problems am I solving in the world? Right? Like, who I'm being, what problems can I or am I willing to solve? And then it was like everything just started coming together. And it wasn't a destination thing where this is it. It was like I started going through this evolution of these different aspects of the roles, and the title became secondary. And so by remaining open to this is what fuels me, this is how I get to serve, and not getting distracted by what the title might be, the role started presenting itself in all its different iterations. And then I began to pan out and see, oh my goodness, there's so many roles within who I am, that then the job became me. And that was more than enough.
Yeah.
And I could actually get down to the work, of supporting others like me in similar journeys, of being able to just show up as that, and, solving whatever problems or getting to that point, which the biggest thing literally became the entire process of your career homecoming became almost like a signal of what my work was going to be. And I didn't realize it. And I couldn't see it because it was right there. And I still remember, am I going to be an archaeologist? Am I going to be an anthropologist? Am I going to be this? All the roles. But it was like, no, you're just going to support people on their journey.
I know like half the people listening are like, yes, this feels release the role. Didn't Beyonce write a song about this? This sounds
I
perfect.
don't
And then half the people are like, no title. What do you mean we're not? What do you mean you released the title? This is terrifying. I need a title. I need to know the thing. I need to know.
know. But the title comes.
Right.
Like the literally by being the role without knowing what the title is. And I found that the title was presented to me in doing the work, in
Mm-hmm.
being of service. It's amazing how the world hands that to you and be like, well, and then you get to see whether or not you accept it. And it becomes one of many roles.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be one, it can be many. And then it's all under an umbrella or a category of work. Yet that's not where my focus is.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, in the last 5 years or so, how has this work prepared you to, again, not necessarily just do one thing, one title, wear this one hat, but how has it prepared you to really navigate opportunity?
Oh, I'm able to identify opportunities through the filters that you provided, of knowing when something serves and honors me.
Yeah.
And I found really helpful within the work, because I know we identified and you supported me in identifying what bare minimums I would require in terms of just being able to put food on the table, shelter over, our heads, and all of this stuff. So getting all that housekeeping out of the way, so I knew that, this was the base criteria. And then all the other things that, are more meaningful to me in terms of who I'm being and what's a deal breaker, and having that courage to be able to say yes and no without fear of loss.
Yeah.
Like in working with you, I walked away with this sense of with or without you energy for any situation, and not just in the job or in the role, but in my life. I'm talking in relationships, and where it was like knowing that I'm more than enough and I have something to offer that is of value. There was no I must do this otherwise, oh I have to put up with it. There was no have to. It was all I get to do this. And so that was the biggest shift for me in terms of being able to that power of making a decision and choice, and knowing that that was up to me now opened up so many doors in terms of who I got to work with and what I got to say yes to and what I got to say no to. Because I already knew through the filters of, your career homecoming, I knew what was for me and I knew what was not. So it became easy. I know that sounds kind of like wild, but making decisions became easy um, through the filter of what honors me.
Yes. Okay. And for my very analytical people that are like, but what was she doing before? And what is she doing now? Who just like need those bookends. Can you just
Yes.
give
So
those?
what I was doing before, I came from a sales and marketing background, and that had always been my through line. And then what I'm doing now is, I mean, the role of the title would fall under like mentor. I have a psychotherapy background, and what I'm doing now is supporting and empowering high achieving women who are seeking clarity to make meaningful decisions that feel life affirming, which is essentially what our journey was together.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so, decisions small or seemingly little. I figured that choice is everything, and being able to make a decision that feels life affirming in all aspects of your life.
Yeah.
That to me is success.
So much of what you're saying, the word that keeps coming through to me is homecoming, homecoming. This is a person who knows herself, who knows her value that she has to offer, who has clarity around decision makings, who has a take it or leave it, approach to, and that's like, isn't that the peace and the confidence and the clarity that we all want?
Liberating,
Yeah.
lighter.
Yeah. All right. Can I bring your words from years ago back to you again? Because I also
Yes,
have written down what you said in our final session together, which was,
yeah.
this is like magic. It should be, you said it should be required for
Sorceress.
every, you said it should be required for every child. You said, I have a heightened self awareness. I thought I was self aware, but it was blurry vision. This is like having prescription glasses. I have a hyper focus and clarity that is delightful, surprising, and desperately needed. Here's my favorite part: there is nowhere to go, it just is.
Yep.
It, it just is. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you, Laura.
Yeah, this has been delightful. And I'm just, it's so wonderful to see you. I'll see you on Instagram, like doing your thing, or, it's like, it's so wonderful to go watch you be yourself and be in your element and shine your bright light for the rest of us. So thank
Thank you
goodness. Thank
for
goodness.
giving for supporting me and giving me the courage to even go out there and be seen, because I think before we worked together, I didn't have a social media presence. I Yeah, I was in hiding and just under a rock attempting to figure it out.
Yeah.
And this is not a journey that can be done alone with any level of ease.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you were there to say you know, yes to supporting me. And so
Absolutely.
I'm truly grateful always.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. For those watching, if you're thinking, I'll have what she's having, go to go to ychworkshop.com, start that free training. That gives so much detail into the
Oh my God, free training?
Mhm. The process that Rachel and all our other clients are using, so you can start to understand. Now
Oh,
you
wow.
understand that it works. You can start to understand how it works. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you, Laura. See you soon.